Have you ever stood in your own home, a place you built with love, and realized it's just a stage for someone else's play? That's what it felt like, standing in our chilly garage on a bleak November afternoon in Chicago. The smell of gasoline and old paint hung in the air, but all I could smell was deceit. I was holding a small silver gift box. It wasn't my birthday. It wasn't our anniversary. Inside, nestled in black velvet, was a men's designer watch I'd never seen before. Tucked underneath was a receipt from a jeweler on Michigan Avenue, dated 3 weeks ago. The buyer's name? My wife, Sarah. The recipient? Unknown. But the real gut punch was the tiny handwritten note I'd found with it, slipped inside her gym bag. It read, "For our future, can't wait to be free. Love, S." And that's when I knew my life was about to be ripped apart at the seams. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 15 years, Sarah and I were the perfect couple. We lived in a beautiful brownstone in Lincoln Park, had a smart, funny 10-year-old daughter named Lily, a life that looked like a catalog of suburban happiness. I worked in finance, long hours but good pay. Sarah was a part-time graphic designer, which gave her the flexibility to be the supermom at Lily's school. She was the head of the PTA, the one who organized bake sales and field trips. Everyone loved Sarah. Her smile could light up a room, or so I thought, looking back. Her smile was just a well-rehearsed mask. It started subtly. A few months ago, she became obsessed with her phone, guarding it like a state secret. She'd angle it away from me on the couch, her fingers flying across the screen with a speed I'd never seen before. "Just PTA stuff," she'd say, her voice a little too breezy. You wouldn't believe the drama with the spring fundraiser. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Then came the late-night gym sessions. Sarah, who used to complain about walking to the mailbox, was suddenly a fitness fanatic, coming home past 10, sweaty and flushed, but with a strange, distant energy. She'd jump in the shower immediately, avoiding my touch, claiming she was just too tired. The house grew colder. The space between us and our king-sized bed felt like a canyon. She'd roll over, presenting me with her back, a wall of indifference I couldn't breach. The arguments started over nothing. The way I loaded the dishwasher, the brand of coffee I bought. It was like she was looking for reasons to push me away, to justify something she was already doing. One evening, I tried to talk to her. "Sarah, what's going on with us? You seem so far away?" She just scoffed, not even looking up from her phone. "Maybe I'm just tired of the same old routine, Mark. Maybe I want more than this." The words hung in the air, sharp and cruel. "More than this?" I asked, gesturing around our home, our life. "More than me and Lily." She finally looked at me, her eyes cold steel. "Don't be so dramatic." That night I slept on the couch. I felt a profound sense of humiliation, like I was a stranger begging for scraps of affection in my own home. The real discovery began with a misplaced receipt. Fell out of her purse one morning as she was rushing out. It was from a fancy restaurant downtown, the signature room at the 95th. A table for two, expensive wine, dinner for a Tuesday night. I knew I hadn't been with her. When I asked her about it later, she was ready with a lie. "Oh, that was a client dinner. Super boring, all shop talk." She was so smooth, so practiced. But a seed of deep, corrosive doubt had been planted. I started looking. I know it was a violation of privacy, but my sanity was on the line. I checked our shared phone records. There it was. One number, called and texted dozens of times a day, every day. Late nights, early mornings. I didn't recognize it. My hands were shaking as I saved the number. Who was he? The final piece clicked into place during Lily's parent-teacher conference. Her regular teacher was out sick, so we were meeting with a long-term substitute, a Mr. Evans. The moment we walked into the classroom, I felt it. A charge in the air. Sarah's posture changed. She became radiant, almost giddy. And then I saw him. Mr. Evans. He was younger than me. It's maybe late 20s. With that easy, smug confidence of a guy who knows he's handsome. He shook my hand, his grip firm, his eyes lingering on Sarah for a fraction of a second too long. "Mr. and Mrs. Clark, so good to finally meet you both. Lily is a fantastic student." Throughout the meeting, their chemistry was sickening. They'd finish each other's sentences. They'd shared inside jokes about school events. He called her Sarah, not Mrs. Clark. They thought they were being discreet, but it was like watching a play where I was the only one in the audience who hadn't read the script. My wife and my daughter's teacher. The arrogance was breathtaking. They were flaunting it right in my face. Driving home, I was silent. The rage was a physical thing, a hot coil in my gut. Sarah was chattering away. "Isn't Mr. Evans great? Lily just adores him. He's so passionate about teaching." Passionate. The word hit me like a punch. I just nodded, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. That night I waited until she was asleep. I used her fingerprint to unlock her phone. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst from my chest. And there it was, a whole universe of betrayal. Texts, photos, videos. Their messages were filled with cheap romance and plans for their future, a future built on the ruins of my life. They called me the warden. They mocked my predictability, my devotion. There was a photo of them at the signature room, my wife looking at him with a love I hadn't seen in years. Another photo showed the watch I'd found on his wrist. He was wearing it. They felt untouchable, invincible. I stumbled out of the bedroom and collapsed on the living room floor, gasping for air. The pain was absolute. It was a soul-crushing grief for the woman I thought I knew, for the family I thought we were. Every memory was now tainted, every "I love you" a potential lie. I cried. Not loud sobs, but the silent, hopeless tears of a man whose world has just ended. I laid there for hours as the city lights of Chicago blinked outside my window, and something inside me shifted. The grief hardened. The pain crystallized into a single, cold purpose. They thought I was the warden? Fine. I would build them a prison of their own making. The breakdown was over. Strategist was born. My revenge would not be a screaming match. It would be a slow, quiet, methodical demolition. First, the legal trap. I hired the best, most ruthless divorce attorney in Chicago. I explained everything. We laid out a plan. Under Illinois law, infidelity can impact the division of assets, especially if marital funds were used to support the affair. That dinner, that watch, the hotel rooms I was now finding receipts for at the Drake Hotel, it was all evidence. I started documenting everything. I put a keylogger on our home computer and a voice-activated recorder in her car. Every secret phone call, every lie about her whereabouts, I captured it all. I was building an arsenal of her own words against her. Next, the social trap. Sarah's entire identity was wrapped up in being the perfect PTA mom, the pillar of the school community. Her affair partner's career depended on his reputation as a dedicated teacher. I decided to let their own arrogance be the trigger for their downfall. The school's annual charity gala was in 2 weeks. It was Sarah's biggest event of the year, her crowning achievement. She was giving the keynote speech. Everyone would be there. The principal, the school board, all the parents who admired her so much. It was the perfect stage. I continued to play the part of the oblivious, slightly distant husband, even helped her practice her speech. "You'll do great, honey," I'd say, my voice dripping with an insincerity that she was too self-absorbed to notice. The day of the gala arrived. It was held in a grand ballroom at the Palmer House Hilton. The air was buzzing with excitement. Sarah was in her element, floating from table to table, accepting compliments, queen in her court. Mr. Evans, or Alex as I now knew his name was there too, looking sharp in a tux. They exchanged a brief, charged glance across the room, a silent promise of their secret victory. I saw it, and I smiled. My attorney had filed the divorce papers an hour earlier. A process server was waiting outside the ballroom. That was just the appetizer. For the main course, I had prepared a little presentation. Sarah took the stage to thunderous applause. She stood at the podium beaming. "Thank you all for coming," she began. "Community is everything. It's about trust, loyalty, and building a better future for our children." The hypocrisy was staggering. As she spoke, I discreetly handed a USB drive to the tech guy running the projector screen behind her. I'd told him it was a surprise tribute video for Sarah that she didn't know about. He queued it up. Sarah was reaching the crescendo of her speech. "It's about the values we model for our kids." And on that cue, I nodded to the tech. Her face on the giant screen was replaced. The first image that flashed up was the receipt for the designer watch. Then a photo of Alex wearing it. The room fell silent. Then came the text messages, blown up for all to see. Can't wait to be free of the warden. He has no idea. Our future is so close. The texts were followed by photos of them together, kissing at a bar, leaving the Drake Hotel hand in hand. A collective gasp went through the ballroom. People were pointing, whispering. Sarah froze. Her face went from radiant to ashen in a second. She stared at the screen, then at me. I was standing by my table, my expression completely neutral. I just held her gaze. Her perfect world was burning down around her, and I was the one holding the match. She tried to speak, but only a choked sob came out. She stumbled away from the podium as the principal rushed onto the stage, trying to regain control. Alex looked like he'd seen a ghost. He was trying to shrink into his chair, to become invisible, but every eye in the room was on him. His career was over. Her social standing was obliterated. She ran from the ballroom, not with grace, but with a panicked scramble of a cornered animal. As she burst through the doors, the process server stepped forward. "Sarah Clark," he said, handing her the divorce papers. The final legal nail in her coffin. I didn't follow her. Simply took a sip of my water, watching the chaos unfold. Destruction was complete. I got everything in the divorce. It's the house, primary custody of Lily, and a significant portion of our assets, thanks to the mountain of evidence of her marital misconduct. Sarah moved out of state, disgraced. Alex was fired immediately, and from what I heard, couldn't get another teaching job anywhere. Never saw either of them again. Life for me and Lily is quiet now. The house doesn't feel like a stage anymore. It just feels empty sometimes. The ghosts of what happened still walk these halls. Sometimes, late at night, when the city is asleep, I stand in the garage where it all started. The victory doesn't feel triumphant. It feels cold. It feels just. I did what I had to do. I erased a lie, but I can never get back the truth I thought I had. The end.